Oh, hey everybody, Darksoul6875 here, and welcome back to Thoughts of a Dark Soul. Today, since we did not bring you a podcast last week, DarkPaladin and I are going to bring you a doubleheader of Doctor Who this week, because we are going to talk about, in this first part, the Pyramid at the End of the World episode that was released about 2 weeks ago now, and then in the next part we're going to talk about The Lie of the Land, which is last week's episode. So let's go ahead and hop into the Pyramid at the End of the World today.
Which I also have to say, sorry for not killing myself last week. I found some meaning to live.
You mean 2 weeks ago?
Whatever, I don't care anymore.
So the Pyramid at the End of the World was a pretty good episode, actually. I only have some minor nitpicks and gripes about it. Otherwise, I thought, as a whole, it was a pretty good Doctor Who episode.
Yes, I will agree. I did enjoy it as well. The ending, not so much.
Yeah, we'll get to that once we get there. But yeah, that's... So, if I remember correctly, this episode starts off with Bill going on a date with Penny. And this time it's actual Bill and actual Penny, not, AI Bill and AI Penny.
Simulation.
Yeah. So they're going out on a date. They eventually come back to Bill's apartment, or whatever it is, and this time instead of the Pope being there, what was it? The head of... Oh, no. What was it? I'm trying to remember what it was.
The head of the UN.
Yeah. The fucking head of the UN barges in, asking Bill if she knows where the doctor is, where the president is.
Well, not the head of the UN. Technically, the Secretary General of the United Nations came in, but whatever.
Yeah, whatever. At first he asks where the president is, and I'm pretty sure they make a Trump joke.
Yeah, they did.
Which was, haha, funny.
Eh.
It was okay. I had a smirk. But then he asked, what about the doctor? And I think we go to the title sequence, and then Bill's being driven to wherever the plot needs her. Which, from what I'm reading, where was it? Turkmenistan?
Yes.
Don't expect me to actually say that again correctly. Where a 5,000-year-old pyramid has just appeared out of fucking nowhere. Now,
As it does.
Like you do. 5,000-year-old pyramid. It was, came in yesterday. Jeff built it. Jeff's a great guy. He's a great architect. And so this is the monks' method of transportation, or their spaceship. I'm not sure which.
I think it's their spaceship.
Okay, they never really talked about what exactly the pyramids are.
Yeah, but if we know for the next episode, I'm going to say it's their spaceship.
I'm gonna go with that. So then I'm pretty sure Bill, Nuttall, and the Doctor all meet up at Turkmenistan.
Yes.
And they're all kind of just standing outside this area. There's troops guarding a perimeter around the pyramid. And they're all just kind of looking at it. Now, obviously, the Doctor still can't see. And Bill does not know this still. Nardole does, but Bill does not. And the Doctor's just trying to play around his blindness. What do you see? And he's just kind of trying to figure out what the hell's going on, what's looking in front of him. And then he... No, nobody's allowed past this perimeter. But he pretty much just says, fuck it. Uses a sonic screwdriver, opens the gate, walks through, and I'm pretty sure he says something along the lines is, the monks have essentially said, bring it on, and so he goes through the gate, he's like, Nardle's like, what are you doing? He's like, I'm bringing it. I'm just like...
Well, let's also about this area is also consider where they said that.
Oh yes.
He just basically pretty much just appeared in front of the three most powerful nations, which is America, Russia, and China. Basically saying "Come on, bring it, Daddy, come do it."
Although I did feel like the line of him saying "I'm bringing it" was a bit meh.
I expect it because to me the Doctor is supposed to be like this old guy who's always out of touch. Because let's think about it. Because let's think about it. Matt Smith and David Tennant has done those old dad jokes before, so I'm used to it, and I like.
Yeah, I feel like it was more on Matt Smith.
Matt Smith did it a lot more.
It's because it's the same writers. And so he walks up to the pyramid, and then the door opens, and I think a monk comes out and speaks with the doctor. I don't remember what they talk about. It's been 2 weeks since I've actually watched the episode, so bear with me.
Basically, talking about saying that the world is going to end, and that we're not here to take over. That you guys are going to
give us the world.
Yeah, you got to do it.
Yeah, and so this does not sit well with the doctor, obviously. Trying to think, where do we go next from here? I'm pretty sure it's.
Then I decided to say, like, well, they gave the doom clock.
Oh yeah, the doomsday clock. It's the 3 minutes to midnight.
Which, then they said that, well, let's just show them force, which they did. Which the monks.
The doctor, for once, actually advises against Russia, China, and UK just to like.
United States,
sorry. Yeah. Still a bit exhausted.
It's America.
Essentially just been like, all right, shoot the biggest shit you have at this. Oddly enough, they don't go nuclear. I thought that was a bit weird.
Why would you not be weird? Of course they're not going to go nuclear. There's still a bunch of people around there.
Well, I mean, if you're going to, if he tells you, if the president of the world asks you to show force...
Yeah, show force. He didn't say nuke the whole thing to the ground, especially when the president's still around there.
I mean, go big or go home.
Yeah, there's a difference between nuclear arms. Nuclear arms is supposed to be like the last resort for anything like that.
I mean, I guess.
But, dude, you should like to nuke. Seriously, hope you never become president.
I'm running in 2020. Let's do this.
Oh, God.
President of the world. But unfortunately, this doesn't... Pearl objects to this. She's like, what the fuck are you doing? Why are you advocating for force? I don't remember his explanation, actually.
It's their planet. There's nothing.
Yeah.
And also talked about what they already planned on doing. Then after that, but we also have to remember that this is also showing two stories at once.
Oh, right. I forgot about the other story.
While we're looking through this, we're also seeing what the monks are seeing, which is basically how the world is going to end. We're seeing the effects of each little detail of how the world's going to end, because with these two scientists, it ends up with this woman who gets her glasses smashed, and then you find out
on her way to work. Yeah,
and you find out her coworker got wasted.
Just hammered last night.
Yeah, which I did not really like this what they showed there, like to show that the glasses got smashed and then the alcohol smashed to the ground. Like, really, we need that? Yeah. We need those shots.
Essentially, these two are working at what was it? Fuel research development lab. Something like that?
I don't know. They look like to be trying. I don't know if it's fuel or some kind of.
I thought they said something about fuel or agriculture. I can't remember.
I think it's agriculture because there were plants there. Remember the plants?
Yeah. No, I'm just making sure it doesn't say here on the wiki.
No.
Yeah. And so essentially, we're not told how the world's going to end, but you can kind of clearly see where the story's going, that they're probably going to mix some chemicals, and the shit's going to go down. Because, why wouldn't it? So now, after the show of force has not worked, the monks were able to disable the US's plane, bring down the Russians' missile. And what did the Chinese do? I forgot, actually.
Yeah, the Chinese, I think, they had the plane. The Americans sent the missile, and the Russians were going to use a submarine. They brought the submarine.
That's right. That's what it was. And here, I'm going to talk about this now. Here is my biggest issue with the next episode. We have seen the monks bring down a missile. We've seen them take a sub out of the water from God knows how far away. Mind you, we're in the middle of what seems to be a desert. Or at least somewhere in the Middle East. And we've seen them take control of a plane and disable it. Remember this for the next part. Because this is my biggest issue for the next part, the next episode. And we'll get to that once we get there. But they disable this. They go inside. Everybody goes inside the pyramid. The leader of the UN and then the Russian and the Chinese generals, the Doctor, Bill, and Nardole, they're all going in, and they're led to this room where all these monks are messing with these wires, and each wire is, showing a possible end of the world scenario, or are they showing all the same one? I assumed it was all different.
I think it's just showing the simulation with each little possibility what could happen, and during this time they allowed them to touch it. So after that, they see that in less than a year, within a year's time, that that Earth will be lifeless,
just desolate, nothing left.
So they offer the humans this way to stop the calamity, but the only way they can do this is by consent.
Yeah, they don't date rape your planet.
Okay, then. With that said, they're like, well, why? The doctor said, well, why consent? Well, people that are forced to rule will always fight back in tyranny. People that do it with love,
consent, or do it with love.
Yeah, it's it's through love, and which they will not fight for, which they will not fight against. Yeah. So after that, the Secretary General of the United Nations, who I don't think they ever gave a name to. No, they didn't. Either. No, so like he consents, but after learning what happens if you don't consent, people, you will die. And what he did was out of fear, not love. So yeah, so he turned to ash. So remember, rapists, do not rape without consent. You'll be turned to ash.
I don't think that's how that works.
I don't know. I don't care.
So everybody watches the Attorney General die. Everybody's pretty shocked about that. And then they go back to their little mini HQ to talk about what they should do. And then we see something very interesting. We see the guy who takes over for the Secretary General. We see the the Chinese and the Russian forces. They all come together and they agree we're not going to fight, because as of right now the monks are essentially they put their pyramid in the middle of all three of the most powerful nations in the world, and so it looks like they're just trying to get everybody to go onto the brink of war and just wipe everybody out. Obviously, this is not the case for the episode, but we don't know that yet.
But what they're trying to do is, well, you kind of know it's not that, because we keep seeing the flashes.
Yeah, but the people listening probably don't.
What?
People listening to the podcast probably don't.
If you're watching if you listen to a Doctor Who podcast and you haven't watched the episode or not even sure about that, what's wrong with you? For one.
Well, some people don't mind spoilers.
Yeah, whatever. Either way,
essentially, everybody thinks that the three nations are going to break out in a war that will pretty much end all wars and wipe off.
Yeah, that's it. They don't know what will happen, what's going to happen. They just know that this could be it. And it's like, okay, let's do that. And the doom clock still said, even after they went to peace, said oh yeah, it's going to be peace.
And then it goes to 2 minutes to midnight, which I was really hoping for an Iron Maiden joke at some point.
Anyway, the Doctor realizes that the way they showed them was that all life was destroyed, so it had to be something being done
elsewhere. He realizes that this is all just a trick, just to fool them into believing that, they're trying to do the right thing here. And so he takes all, classified documents and puts them on the internet with the sonic screwdriver.
Which then he have other people search through it, which makes the three generals become a little bit
agitated,
nervous. Yeah, because they believe that they should try to do peace, because there's no way they're gonna make it in time. Yeah. So they say give him some time. The Doctor then decided that he came up with an idea, which is kind of ingenious. He decided to go into the TARDIS and shut off their signal to the cameras that are in those facilities that he's...
Wait, no. First he narrows it down to all the facilities.
Yeah.
He narrows it down to something chemical, which narrows it down a little bit more. And so once we find out that the Doctor has done this, all the generals and Bill go out to the pyramid to possibly negotiate peace through consent. And the doctor and Nardo are like, well, there's like 40 places we could search. How do we find it? I was like, well, the monks can only search through one, can only be looking at one of them. So if we shut off all the CCTVs in all the places, we just have to find the one that turns back on.
Yeah.
So, which is ingenious.
Which when that pops back on, they go to the
Yeah, you don't think
the lab.
Yeah, the lab.
Which then after that they decide to go try to make peace, and when they went to do it, the three generals died too because it wasn't a consent. It was through what did they say? Strategy.
Yeah, it was through strategy.
It wasn't through love. Which that's something that bothers me in this episode. But let's.
Yet again, we'll talk about this once we get to the end of the episode.
But
hopefully,
after
by the way, did that pick up my text notification?
I didn't hear anything.
Okay, hopefully it didn't. So they're dead. Bill's freaking out because they're asking her to represent the Earth, and the doctor has now flown to the lab. Now, while we've been gone, the lab has had a breach. Some chemicals have mixed and destroyed all of the plant life in a certain part of the lab. And one guy goes in there with, no actual safety equipment on because, scientists.
Yes.
Hungover scientists. And so he runs back out, and then he starts to cough and falls over and just fucking melts. Just goes to goop.
But the reason why all this is happening because, well, he went in, he stayed while he's intoxicated because he can't see properly and
mixed some type of chemicals.
Yeah, he mixed. Yep, which caused all the plant life in there to die.
And then since he inhaled it, I'm assuming it works like this. It disintegrates your internal organs and then it disintegrates your skin. Unless it disintegrates it all at once, but I feel like...
I'm just saying that it goes after that it's a super which accidentally create a super bacterium capable of breaking down living organisms.
I'm assuming that breaks you down from the inside out, and that's not a fun way to go.
And what's causing it, since it's already in the system and it's been locked out, but the vent system is set to a timer so that it is able. Yeah, so it will be sent to be vented out into the atmosphere.
Essentially, killing off everybody, just like we've seen.
Yeah.
Turning everybody into goop. Nice pilots of goop.
So after that, the doctor goes in there to help him out. And Nardo's in there. He sends Nardo back into the TARDIS for his safety, but Nardo already has inhaled this.
And apparently Nardo still has human lungs.
I don't know if he's human.
No, he's not. He's mostly roboid.
I don't know if he's just roboid or he's just another race altogether yet.
No, legit, his head and his lungs are the only things that are...
I know that, but I'm trying to... he's humanoid, but I'm not saying he's roboid. I don't think he's human exactly.
He's human enough for the purposes of this episode.
Because he said he wasn't human. That's why I'm saying that.
Don't worry about it. So Nardo starts coughing. So we know he's been affected because his lungs are human, or at least a version of humanoid that can be affected by this super bacteria. The Doctor obviously isn't affected, even though he is. The Time Lords only. One of the only big differences is they have two hearts. There's obviously the whole regeneration thing, but.
Two hearts, of the fact that their bodies that they run at a cooler temperature than what humans do. They also have 3 brain stems. They also have several different little things about it. They're also going to be, if I remember right, that aspirin can kill them too.
That what can?
Aspirin. They reported that aspirin can be poisonous to them. I think that was one of the things.
I'm not sure. But I kind of find it weird that he's not affected in the slightest.
Why? He's another species.
I mean, I guess, but wouldn't a super bacteria still affect him in some slight way?
No, probably not. Like I said, that's a whole different species. Like, they made that kind of point where they say, like, well, if you go to another species that has learned to fight these bacteria along those lines, or you're not, or it won't affect your immune system because the germs don't know how to combat yours. But this is like a different organism that seems to be affecting Earth life forms.
I would have just liked a bit more of an explanation, I guess, is what I'm saying. Just like, hey, just like, even if it's just like a throwaway line, like, oh no, my lungs are just a bit different, or all, my immune system is just a bit more different than you. But it's whatever. I'm nitpicking.
Yeah.
Still blind, by the way, he is. So now he has to go in, figure out what's wrong, and realize what the ventilation system problem is. So what's his solution? Let's blow the fucker up. The Doctor is very explosive happy in this season, and I don't know why, and it scares me.
Michael Bay.
Michael Bay.
But while he's talking this, Bill is talking to them over the phone, and as he's realizing that the futures are starting to change now, because the Doctor is realizing he's going to blow it up, she's not going to go with the whole consent thing, and it's like, yeah, you're going to get the fudge off my planet. And Nardo has been knocked out because of the
super bacteria.
Super bacteria, and soon as he's about to get up, he can't unlock the door, and there's a door that has to be
first
open.
He goes in, sets up the explosive, has the little assistant go out so she can close the door behind him or do whatever she needs to operate the door. And now he's trying to leave but can't because of the automated systems.
And he has to put in a number to do that, and he cannot see.
The numbers are on a dial, like a dial that you kind of spin. The Doctor can't see these because he's blind. And here comes my biggest issue with the episode. Now we're at a minute to midnight, mind you. So and I don't know if it's a literal minute. Right now we're just worried about the bomb exploding, and it's got a couple minutes before it explodes. So the Doctor cannot see. He's on the phone with Bill. So here's my complaint. And I saw this complaint on not only on some of the Facebook pages, but also on the subreddit for Doctor Who. And we're going to go back to the last episode, where the Doctor, in a virtual reality self, sent himself an email containing video and audio of everything that had happened to that virtual reality self through the sonic glasses. So, here's my big issue. This is kind of like it's you look at it, it's like 4 wheels. Well, kind of like hexagonal wheels, because they have to have the numbers, they have to lock into place. So you have to get all 4 of these in the right order with the right number combination. You've been told the number combination by the little assistant. Why not email a picture to Bill? She's already on the phone with you. She's got a smartphone. You can be on a phone call and look at an image at the same time on a smartphone. You don't have to do one or the other. This whole thing, this whole third act of this third part could have been avoided using the sonic glasses, because we've already seen their capabilities to be able to record audio and video. There's no reason why they can't take a simple image and then email it to Bill's smartphone.
I don't remember seeing video, so that's the one thing that didn't bother me too much. But also, I mean, I guess I could see how it wouldn't work. It was like, okay, I gotta email you this, and you gotta tell me what the numbers are right there and which way to go up or down with it.
Yeah, I mean, obviously he's strapped for time, but the possibility that he could have still gotten out of there is still there. Like, he wasn't completely doomed as they set it up to be.
I think he was more so than what's going to happen on the next episode.
But yeah.
But let's say this. After that, the thing he admits that he's blind. He's been blind since
oxygen.
Yeah, oxygen. So yeah.
So Bill realizes that he can't save the day without sacrificing himself. So now we come to DarkPaladin's biggest issue with this episode. She consents through love
for the Doctor, which to me, I don't feel that amount of love. But let's say that it is true. She even says, "Doctor, you better save my planet," which means she didn't really do this just out of love. She did this for thinking like, okay, this is a strategic move. She's thinking she saves the Doctor, they'll save him. She'll be able to save the Earth. How is it still through love? She is still thinking strategically about this.
Yeah. It doesn't make sense.
Understand. It wouldn't make sense if she had developed a relationship throughout the entire episode, and then it was someone she loved deeply, or you know what? Guess what? It was some way to bring back her mother, and she's willing to sacrifice that to bring her mother back to life. That would make more sense. That you would sacrifice care about someone you love personally for the world.
Yeah, it's like I said. This last couple of minutes really ruin the whole flow of the episode. Really, it just ruins the episode. It's not a bad episode.
It didn't ruin the episode for me, but it's just a little nitpick that leads to the issues I have with the next episode. But before we get into that, the episode was written by Peter Hartness and Stephen Moffat together.
And we shouldn't be surprised that an ending like this has got Moffat's name written all over it. I'm not a fan of his writing.
Well, I am. I mean, a bit of his writing good. I mean, you like the episode where Don't Blink.
I'm not saying it's all bad. Not saying it's all bad. It's just some of it is really bad.
Besides that, this has been a very positive showing, and Rotten Tomatoes, as far as I know, has 85% when it comes to this. When it receiving a lot of positive views, which I can see the positivity of the views, and I can. So I just think that
I shouldn't have said ruin the episode, but it definitely kind of makes you go like, wait, could this have been done a different way?
Yeah, but here's the thing. The reason why I'm a little bit harder on this episode, because we did not do this last week because of certain events happened, but we already watched the other episode that happened, and that one leaves a negative taste in my mouth because it connects to this episode so well.
Yeah. That
it affects this episode to me as well. So if we had done this last week, I'd probably be praising this more than I am doing now.
It's when you watch the whole arc, you kind of realize what parts don't work and what parts do, and what makes it a good 3-part story and what doesn't.
Yeah, which I would say Extremis. Good episode. That's the strongest of the trilogy.
Yeah, it's the strongest of this 3-parter. That's the sad thing. The first episode's the strongest. You never want your first to be the strongest. Or if you do, you want it to be consecutively strong.
In which this was just written by, and remember, Extremis was written by Stephen Moffat himself and just himself.
I wonder if that makes a big difference or not.
And director from both episodes was Daniel Nahum.
Generally, we would go to a pause right now, and we would just pick up. But since we're not going over a new or a different topic, we're going to go ahead and just go straight into Lie of the Land. And mind you, this is not like Lay of the Land. No, this is L-I-E, the Lie of the Land. Which, once again, isn't a bad episode.
Which I will say this, I was right. It was not written by Stephen Moffat. It was written by Toby Whithouse. The next episode. He made School Reunion, The Vampires of Venice, The God Complex, A Town Called Mercy, Under the Lake, Before the Flood. Yeah.
The only one I really don't like on there is The Vampires of Venice.
Yeah, and that wasn't that bad of an episode, but like I said, it showed. What I liked about that episode was that it showed Rory coming into and becoming part of the
crew.
The crew, and I liked the thing. It was really nice, but I can understand why it's a little bit weak. But yeah, I knew it wasn't Stephen Moffat. And Toby, this to me is your weakest work, but I can understand you probably had little to work with. Also, I forgot to say this. Fuck you, Frank.
Oh, I thought we were just gonna save it till the end since we're talking.
I'm gonna say it twice.
Okay. So now we pick up on Lie of the Land. At first, I didn't actually know this was a continuation of the last episode.
Oh, I did.
Not gonna lie. At first, because it's just like the monks have now taken over. I think we hear the doctor talking over, kind of doing a little bit of narration.
The doctor is talking through narration, yes, but what it is that he's being broadcast to the world.
Talking about how the monks have always been there, and it's been a symbiotic relationship with humanity, even though they've only been there for a couple of months.
Which they also show sound like they've been there since the beginning, and mentioned several other things. That was.
Then we cut to Bill as she's watching, Or she's listening to part of the broadcast, right?
Well, what happened is that as we're hearing this, we're seeing them breaking into a woman's house, claiming that because there's a family watching the doctor on television, and they're saying that you are being charged for memory alteration.
Some memory crimes.
1972. They have been around only for a few months. They haven't been around that long. And after that, when she's being taken away, we see Bill watching it.
And we notice kind of a very somewhat fascist regime. Like, people being ripped out of their homes. Their families aren't really doing much about it because they know they can't.
And the monks are killing a few, which, here's the problem I have with this. If the whole thing was about consent and saying that they will love us and that this will be no problem, then what's the problem? Why is there people memorizing this? Why is there any issue with that? What the living crap does this even mean?
I guess because since you were consenting to control is not always absolute.
Yeah, but here's the thing. If Bill has gave away to consent, and this is supposed to be the thing where they may show something like, we want to do it by love. If love is the thing that's just the truth, then what is the problem? Why are certain people memorizing this?
You mean remembering it?
If they can remembering the world as it was, is it supposed to be?
I would argue that it's due to a paradox. So think of it this way, because this is kind of a memory paradox. What they're being fed to now, what they're being fed to as the truth, it obviously isn't what they remember. So you've kind of got two separate inside everybody's head, because everybody was on the planet when this happened. Inside everybody's head, you've got one timeline of what actually happened, and you got now the monk's timeline. At a certain point, they create a split, and some people it creates a split, so they remember both timelines. And these are, I guess, the people accused of memory crimes because they remember everything before the monks, but yet they aren't sure of themselves. They're very conflicted, kind of like Bill is in the episode.
So here's the thing, then. You gave more thought to that than they did, because they didn't try to explain this shit at all.
They didn't. But, I mean, that's what makes sense to me, because if the monks take over, then they start indoctrinating everybody. There are going to be some people that aren't going to either be able to fully be indoctrinated, or they're going to cause a paradox of memory. I mean, it's just how mind control shit works.
Which I try to understand why they're doing this. Trying to experience, like, fascism, but really, you did a very poor job with this one. My friends, I mean, Toby, my God, I love you, man, but this episode is kind of weak. You're on Frank level territory there, dude.
No.
Went a little too far.
Yeah.
Went a little too far.
Yeah, you know Frank. You know Frank.
Oh yeah,
Fuck
especially
you, Frank.
Especially as I rewatched that episode and I just realized it made me madder.
Oh God, you rewatched Smile? Why?
I wanted to see what because I rewatched the Forest thing, so I just want to see how it made me feel. I actually hate Smile more than the Forest one now.
Really?
Yeah.
All right, that's a topic for another time. We need to get back.
Yes, it is. But after that, we see that Bill is trying to keep her grounded in reality. What's going on? So she will talk to her dead mom, just thinking her mom is right in front of her. Which
is a bit weird, not gonna lie, especially when she actually visualizes her dead mother.
Which I kind of like.
I mean, it's kind of weird, as in if you would apply this to a person in like IRL, when you think of somebody who's visually picturing somebody and actually makes them, a drink. Something might be a bit wrong in their head.
Maybe, but I think like she's using her mother to.
I know. I meant in general. Like I said, it's weird as an idea, especially if you don't explain it properly. But they explain it properly. She's using, like you said, she's using her mom because that's a memory that is untouched by this paradox.
Which is just so.
Which is weird, actually. Wait a minute. How can that memory be untouched by the paradox?
Like I said, you. The only way I can think about that is that since they said they want to consent through love, and that's actually real love, not fake love. It wasn't love for them; it was love for something else. So that's the only thing I can really think of. But like I said, you're putting more thought into it than I am, than they were.
Yeah. So she's talking to her dead mom.
Which then Nordal appears. Which thank God, because I don't get. I
thought he was gonna die.
Oh no, I didn't think he was. Because here's the thing. I am going to say this. I'm loving Nordal more than Bill.
Nordal's amazing. I don't know if I love him more than Bill. I feel like
I do.
I put them on the same level because they both represent two different character types.
Well, the reason why I say I like him more because he seems to contribute more and seems to understand the weight of the world more than Bill sometimes does.
Yeah, but Bill was also supposed to represent the audience, where Nardal isn't.
I think Bill represents the audience more. There are times I just want to punch Bill in the face, and Nardal represents how I feel about that.
Yeah, you know what I mean? The general audience, not us.
Maybe that's the thing. Maybe Nardal represents the old-time Doctor Who fans, and Bill represents the new ones.
Maybe. So, they've located the Doctor because nobody knows.
Would you like to say this one thing before we go there? I like what he said. Who are you talking to? I was talking to my dead mom. Huh.
I had an imaginary.
Okay, I heard it. Yeah, I had an imaginary friend too. Left me for someone else. Can't believe that. Like, oh my god.
Yeah, Nordal's pathetic, and I love it.
He reminds me. He is my spirit animal.
So they go to a captain whose son was taken by the memory police, who will help smuggle them aboard this ship that the Doctor is being held upon. And that's what they do. Not much. You don't actually see much. Once they get on board, they have to hopefully not get checked for papers. They do. But for some reason, the monks show up on board the ship. And
one of the monks appear.
It doesn't make much sense. He just kind of appears. I think I know why it could make sense. But he just kind of appears, and then they don't need their papers anymore. Like, the monk comes, and then he goes. I don't think he says anything.
No, not really. And then they tell him to hurry up, rush to get through.
Yeah. So I think the point of that scene was to show that the monks might still have, they might have a contingency plan for this. That was why they let Bill through.
No, I really don't. I kind of wonder about that scene because there's a problem with that scene, and I'll explain once you get done finishing it. Once we get to what happens with the Doctor at this point.
And so Bill and Nardal run to the Doctor's room, or they find him, they run in, and it seems like the Doctor is working for the monks. He's completely agreed with them, and he's just going on this big, long rant and rave against humanity, and how pointless it is, and how the monks have saved them, and they're saviors, and all this kind of bullshit.
Because he's saying that the Doctor they will be doomed without their guidance, and they were so close to being killing them all so much.
Yeah.
Which Bill then grabs a gun and points it at him, basically saying like, "You know how long I hold up hope for you," and blah blah blah. And then
essentially, I held out hope for you for so long, hoping that you'd have this big plan to save the day, and now here you are working with them. And she's like, and then she just shoots him, which we get some really hammy acting from Capaldi. When his getting shot kind of jumps. It's kind of funny. I noticed it. I don't know if you did. And then we see the Doctor start to regenerate because he has been shot. And then he doesn't. Because it was a fake out. Because fuck you.
It was a scenario being tested by Nardal. The people that were guarding them and the guards he called in were actually part of their team that the Doctor has been recruiting for the last several months. But Nardal wanted to test Bill to make sure she wasn't influenced by the monks. Which I do give this one line. They're like, "But I shot you." Oh, they were all blanks. They're all replaced with blanks today. Like, oh, we were supposed to.
Really? The Doctor looks around the room. He's like, "Yeah, they're all filled with blanks." This one guy just kind of looks at him funny. He's like, Oh, really? So now they get together and they start to try to figure out a plan, I believe.
Which they could have snuck back into the island without the monks knowing anything about it. Nah, that's not the Doctor's fashion. Let's just take the entire boat and just crash it into the world.
Yeah, they take the boat and just bust through. They end up going back to the university to go into the vault to talk to Missy to see if she's had any dealings with the monks. Which, this scene is awesome. I love this scene.
Oh, right. Forgot to mention the problem I have with this, with the monk being there. That means the monk is on the boat, right?
I assume
was that a monk was on
to the boat and then teleported away.
There's teleportation? Because I never seen them teleport.
I thought I heard like a sound effect. I could be wrong.
I don't know. Like I said, it was a little confusing to me, but
yeah,
whatever. Fine then. Because like I said, then if the monk is there, was it real? Was he not? I have no idea.
Was it just the monks like being like, okay, are they still doing this plan? All right, I'll report back to HQ.
But like I said, I really don't know if they actually know that there's a plan. Because like I said, I don't think the monks know anything about it.
A lot of this episode's issues is just like, what do the monks know? What don't they know? What the fuck's going on? And it's never explained.
But like I said, they went to the vault and talked to Missy, which I will agree. This is a very
good scene.
Nice.
But it's really fucking pointless.
There are two. It's not pointless to me. To me, it is. There's two scenes, and I'm going to explain why I enjoy them.
I just enjoy the acting from the scenes.
It's not just the acting; it's more than that, and I will explain later on at the end why I enjoy the two scenes that will appear. Okay. But she does confirm that she has met with the monks before, and they do use a control broadcast for the false history for the victims.
And they put that broadcasting chip in the person that gave consent.
Which is a psychic link, which is being broadcast through the statues throughout the world. That's why there's so many monk statues everywhere.
And so the doctor's like, well, is there any other way if we don't have to kill the person that's got the chip in them?
Well, it's not a chip, it's a psychic link.
I thought it was like a... No, I thought it was like a device that they put in the skull.
No, it's a psychic link because she even established it saying that, well, the reason why they keep it going for years, because they actually do explain this. Like, hold on, they keep it on the line? Well, most of the time they do have descendants, and descendants carry it down.
Except Bill can't have descendants.
Why can't she have descendants?
I mean, she can.
They're sperm banks.
Yeah.
She can get a turkey baster and go there.
I mean, she could, but like the monks didn't really think that one through.
No, I don't think they were really trying to get that through, and I don't think they were focusing on that. But like I said, which also the doctor is trying to find, saying, I know there has to be another way, and then he said, like, that's the problem that you're trying to, because it seems like what this scene is trying to build up is that the Missy is trying to change
and trying to be good, but not the doctor's sense of good.
But what the doctor, what she mentioned is that she said, like, if you want me to be more sentimental, like, I have to be in here a lot longer than that.
Yeah, if you want me to go to your version of good, I'm gonna need to be in here a lot longer than 1,000 years.
With that said and done, Bill is now contemplating about, I should just, die and save the world since this is my fault. Which to me, this does show some growth for Bill. It shows that she's looking at that she had done this, and that she and that she's done these not bad things.
That she fucked up.
That she's willing to sacrifice herself to save the day.
Yeah.
That she's willing to do that, which I do like. Which the doctor is strictly on not trying to do that. He said that they can just go there, hijack the broadcast with his own mind, and break the psychic transfer, which I do like. So, like, you planning on linking your thing to a very powerful machine? Are you saying, like, it doesn't stand a chance?
Yeah, the doctor's like, well, it was Nardole that, like, said, oh, you're going to play into, we found the central broadcaster. And Nardole's just like, so you're going to wire your brain up to a thing that sends out, like, thousands of processes, like, in a second. It's like, it doesn't stand a chance. I'm just like, no, that's the doctor.
Yeah, buddy. As it relates that they're getting closer, that the signal's getting stronger, so what they do is they put on headphones in a tape player, which that's a little weird that still exists.
Not that unusual, but...
No, I have not seen a tape in years.
I thought some of them were MP3s, but...
No, they were tapes. As far as I know, if there were MP3s, I did not...
Oh, no, it was tape. It was tape.
Yeah, buddy.
Maybe that's all they could get. I don't know.
So
I had to think about that little like subplot.
So the soldiers put on the headphones and they're going in to go inside to take over with Bill, Nordal, and the Doctor, and they are meet with resistance. A few of them die, and one of them, but they do be able to get further after killing off some of the monks.
One of the cassette players gets damaged by a stray bullet.
Yep.
And then he can now hear the indoctrination. Sorry, I'm saving some images.
Which then they try to, he tried to stop the Doctor and Bill, everyone else when they find the central control hub. Which then Nordal, being Nordal,
has a funny ass scene.
Pinches him and knocks him out. Which I kind of wondered, did he get the Vulcan nerve?
I think that was the joke.
Yeah, because it's like I can do it with my own, but I can't do it with my other hand because it's like an old hand.
Oh no, it's because it's his original, wasn't it?
I don't know.
Something like that.
But
now we get to what's broadcasting the signal, and it looks like it's a monk.
It is a monk.
Which is interesting.
It's a monk. No, it's a monk sitting down broadcasting the signal.
Yeah, of all the lies of the land.
Yep.
A pun. Yeah, wordplay. Can you tell I'm tired?
Yes.
So the Doctor's plan is to essentially just walk up to it and try to stop it. So he gets behind the monk, puts his hand on its brain?
I'm going to say his head. I have no idea what the fuck it was.
It's hard to tell what he was touching. And he tries to stop the monk from broadcasting. And it looks like at first he's going to do it. And then you realize, we got probably about another 5-10 minutes left in the episode. So he then gets fought back against the monk and actually gets, I think, pushed away from the monk. Like, I think the blast from the monk's resistance just pushes him away. And he kind of falls down. And so it's obvious that he can't do it. He's like, hold on, let me try again. He's like, no, if you do it again, you're probably going to die. And so at this point, Bill ties the Doctor up and says...
While the Doctor's knocked out, they handcuffed his ass.
No, they tied him up with like some string. They didn't handcuff his ass because he's able to break free of it eventually. And so Bill's like, all right, I'm the one that made this mess. I'm going to be the one that fixes it. And Doc's like, Bill, you can't do this. No, please, no. If I couldn't do it, what makes you think you can?
No, that's not what it was. That's not like what makes you think you can. What it was that she was intending to sacrifice herself by linking the mind and killing herself, which that's what the Doctor was trying to do. The Doctor said like, hey, not to say like, he didn't say like, hey, if I can do it, but you think you can do it. No, that's not what it said at all.
That's not what it said. It's just kind of like...
No, he's basically saying like, no, let me do it again. I got my second win.
And she's like, no, I've tied you down. I'm going to go do this. And so she goes up to the monk, does the same thing the Doctor does, except this time, Deus Ex Machina appears.
Well, it seems to be killing her at first, and then it's but the monk's control is still pushing out more of the memory of the false memory, and she seems to be dying and losing, and then Deus Machina is that her memories of her mother
somehow are untainted by the memory paradox that I have just made up.
Which the Doctor recognizes as a strong and loving memory in Bill's mind. Which, if you think about, Bill has no memory of her mother, only images, unless the images is just that of her mom.
It's her imaginary friend, so it's kind of what she believes her mom to be. This is my best guess.
But But then humanity wakes up and fights the monks in their lies. Which they said that there's not that many of the monks.
Yeah, they said there was like only maybe a dozen monks.
Mm-hmm.
And so here comes my biggest issue with the episode. The monks retreat after their plan has failed. They've been here for months. They've made a coalition to they've made a military, like a kind of police military, to take away people who remember. But once they lose their control, they're just like, well, fuck this shit, we're out. Even though in the episode prior, we saw them take down a bomber plane, a submarine, and a missile. What is stopping them from just staying there and saying, fuck it?
Well, they made it clear that they said that they do not want to rule by
I know.
And then they can't really be around them if they, if people they're scared of their lives constantly. So that's the reason why I didn't really have that much of a problem with that.
I guess it's just the idea like this race is so powerful. It's just like, wait, they're bound by a moral code. I mean, I guess
it's bound by moral code.
Well, it's kind of their code. They can only control through love. That's their kind of their motto, their code, how they go and rule planets. I guess it's just weird to me seeing such a strong display of force done by them, and then they're just like, well, people are starting to remember. Let's just leave.
Yeah, but the one thing that bothered me was that also I said like after later when the monks leave, Doctor and Bill are talking about how humanity stood up against it, and it's like, okay, then the Doctor went up to a random girl and said, hey, what does this sexual represent? Oh, no, they're shooting some kind of movie, maybe, I don't know. Basically, humanity forgot all about the monks. So let me get this straight. Humanity remembers what's really happened, their own history, fought against the monks and revolted, and now they forgot.
Okay, so I'll punch in here. And I will say only a handful of people actually knew what happened. Everybody else knew that the monks existed. So, and I'm going to think real deep into this, because fuck you. So, the memory paradox that I was talking about earlier. So, we've got the two separate timelines of memories with the monks and memories without the monks. Most people aren't going to want to remember something so traumatic as this, families being ripped from homes and all this kind of, fascism type thing. So most people are going to take that memory with the monks and they're going to repress the shit out of that. And they're going to believe that the timeline that actually occurred was the nice one without the monks.
Okay, except one tiny itsy bitsy little
Okay, just
thing.
go. Yeah, come on.
They say humanity has no regulation of the monks, which means they didn't basically like, oh, we're going to choose this. They basically
No. I'm saying all humans at a base instinct level are going to...
No, they said that basically they just forgot. That they just freaking forgot.
Like if you repress something,
I'm not saying that you
forget it.
I'm not going to say, okay, here's the thing. We can say whatever you want about the monks. The monks probably did some fascist stuff, but humanity has done worse than the monks has done. So I'm going to go with, really? We're going to forget that? We're going to forget that. No.
I don't agree with that. I'm just trying to provide an explanation.
No, I'm not going to make sense of that. No, fuck it.
Fuck it.
But we're going to the next scene, which is one of my other favorite scenes about this episode, which is Missy expressing remorse for those she has killed, which was a bit surprising to see the Master cry.
Yeah, and I'm so torn on, I want to believe she's actually remorseful, or if those are just crocodile tears.
Yeah, but like I said,
torn on that.
But like I said, the reason why it seems to be building this way is because it seemed to be building this way for a few seasons now. And here's my reason for why I say this. We go back to Matt Sims' Doctor, how he's being the master on those lines. But we're talking about like the end of time, where he seems to, he's doing some malicious things, but he then realized that, hey, I'm insane for a reason.
The Time Lord's gonna fuck me up.
But then at the end, when the Doctor's about to die, the Master intervenes to him, get out of the way, and he saves him. The next thing the next time we see the Master is Missy. Now you can say like, oh, Missy did all these bad things, killing all these people and keep on the line that made the Cybermen out of them. Because what did she say though? I want you to see that you are just like me. I want my friend back. it seems like that this was the whole thing. Like, she wants to show, like, you and I are just the same.
Yeah. So, but we still don't know what Matt Sims Master is doing here. And we and we know that he's going to be at least part of a story. Like
and then the doctor has been. Then she seems to have some kind of change, and that has helped the doctor in the previous episode. But like I said, this could be some build up to something negative, because like I said, we don't know how Missy survived with the Daleks, and this could be build up for that as well.
We also don't know how the regeneration process happened either.
I'm sorry?
The regeneration process between Matt Sims to...
yeah, maybe it'll be... Well, like I said, we'll find out about that down the line. But I do like the...
I love the back and forth between Bill, Missy, and the Doctor, and then obviously the Doctor and Missy. Their banter is always good.
Yeah, I like that too. I also like the visual of her about the, what was it, the panning shot in her room for the first scene, I think, or it's the second scene, was similar to the 1996 film.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was really nice. If you ever watch it, it's an okay film. But like I said, this film was basically we went.
We went like it was like first episode great, second episode it's pretty good. Third episode is passable.
Basically, let me say this: you're on a roller coaster. It's going up. That's the first episode, getting all excited. The second one, it goes down. And like, it's a pretty good ride, but
then you bottom.
Then you find out that the ride just broke down, stopped, collapsed, and fell, and you just wonder what the fuck.
Yeah, you kind of like wondered what the fuck where the direction this whole three-parter went.
Which, yeah, I'm not looking. Like I said, this isn't the worst episode to me.
No, Smile is still the worst.
But like to me, that Smile is still the worst. But this is second of the worst of this episode season so far.
Yeah.
But
otherwise, I guess I'm kind of looking forward to the next episode.
I'm looking forward to it as well, especially
the invasion of Mars,
which we get to see another Martian.
Yeah, and this time a queen.
Well, not the invasion of Mars; it's the Empress.
It's called the Empress of Mars, but essentially it's people invading Mars.
Which is being written by Mark Gatiss. I probably butchered your name. I'm sorry.
Gatiss?
Whatever.
Nailed it. So yeah. So the Pyramid at the End of the World, pretty good episode. Lie of the Land, not so good. Extremist, fucking great. So generally if I had to rate it as a whole, if I just had to rate the whole arc as like one episode, I would say I would give it probably like a 7.5. I had some issues with it, but generally I enjoyed the story.
I would give it a 6. I'm giving it close to an average. Because if I have to give anything, I'm giving Smile at least a 1.5.
Damn.
I hate that.
I would give it at least a 3.
Oh, fuck
maybe
no.
a 2.
Fuck
Maybe
you,
a 2. Probably
Frank.
2.
Fuck you, Frank. Fuck you, Frank.
Alright. But yeah. Overall, not bad. Next episode is definitely looking to be pretty fucking good. Just like the rest of the season. Especially
since I am looking forward to seeing the Martians again, with they're going to be the Ice Warriors.
Alright, so thank you, DarkPaladin, for talking Doctor Who for about an hour now.
Yeah!
Thank you all for joining us. If you want to talk about the Pyramid at the End of the World or the Lie of the Land, please let us know your thoughts in the comment section below. If you like this video, please leave a thumbs up. If you didn't, leave a thumbs down. Tell me why. I'd love to try to improve this podcast as much as I can.
If you hate Frank as much as I do, leave that thumbs up. Smash the fuck out of it.
You smash the fuck out of that like button because fuck you, Frank. So thank you all for joining us. I hope you enjoyed today's podcast. And as always, everyone, have a great day.